Hi, today we're going to be using 2D shapes to make 3D forms. We're going to use 4 rectangles to make a sphere, and we're going to use circles and rectangles to make a cylinder. We're going to do all of this with notebook paper today. So our next form for today is going to be the cylinder. We're going to make it using a rectangle and 2 circles. You're going to need 1 piece of notebook paper, something to write with, and some scissors and glue. Okay, so let's take our notebook paper and from the bottom count up 8 rows. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go 9, just so it's a nice tall cylinder. And then we're going to cut across on that 9th row like this. Okay, and it's going to leave us with a piece of rectangle that looks like this. I'm going to come over here and cut this hole off on this side on that red line that makes the margin on the side of the paper, like this. Okay, then we're going to take our glue and we're going to put a strip of glue here on one side, and we're going to put that glue on the outside like that. It's okay if it overlaps a little bit. Matter of fact, you probably want it to. Okay, and we're going to set that down like that. Then we're going to take the leftover notebook paper that we have from that sheet, that rectangle that we cut off. We're going to fold it in half like this. We're in half. We're going to take our round rectangle that we just glued together, and on the inside, I'm going to hold it steady, and I'm going to draw my circle like that, okay? Then when you move the shape away, you can just kind of make it stronger like that. Then I'm going to draw some tabs like this. That'll just help it stay together better. Okay, and let's cut that out. Remember, leaving it folded because we want to have 2. Then when the whole thing's cut out, your first step is going to be to fold those tabs up just like we did for our other forms. Okay, and we did get 2, and that's great. I'm going to fold up those tabs like this. We're going to do the top first and then flip it over and do the bottom. Once those little tabs are all folded up like that, I'm going to put glue towards the outside of those tabs so that we can put it in the top of that cylinder and have our top. Okay, so I'm going to just rest it in the top like this. Okay, and you can put those tabs to the inside or the outside. I like them to the inside, but you can do whatever works best for you. Give a little squeeze, okay, so that they stay in. I'm using tacky glue, and it glues really fast, which is nice. Then once you turn it over to the other side, you're ready for the other circle. You're going to again bend your little tabs up like this. And I like to put my glue on the outside like that. And I like to put the tabs inside just because it's easiest. And again, just like with our, give a little squeeze, all those little tabs as you're putting them on the inside like that as you're going around. And once you're done, you have a nice little cylinder. Okay, so our last form for today is a sphere, okay? We're going to make our sphere, or our last form for today, using 4 rectangles, long skinny rectangles of notebook paper. Okay, so we're going to start by cutting off the holes. Cut on this margin like this to cut off the holes, okay, so that you have a piece of notebook paper that looks like this. Then I would like you to please fold it in half. We're going to hold it landscape this time. Fold it in half, fold it in half again, okay? And then right in the middle, right down the middle, okay, we're gonna find 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, okay? And I'm gonna cut on one of those rows because you don't want your strips of paper to be too wide, but you also don't want them to be too thin, okay? Move those aside. Then I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3 rows over, and I'm going to cut. I'm gonna move down to the board so that they stay somewhat together because we're gonna wanna fold them next. All right. And so here are my 4 strips, because remember we folded it in half and then a half again. Then you're going to take those 4 strips all together and you're going to bring the top to the bottom to fold them in half like that. Okay? Make a nice hard fold, rub back and forth. All right, so then we have our 4 strips, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they all have that little fold in the center. And that little fold is going to kind of become our guide. Okay, the first one we want to do is a crisscross. So make sure the fold on the bottom one is right underneath the fold on the top one. Okay, so it's going to look like a plus sign. It doesn't have to be exact, but try to make sure it's the same length here and here. Okay, so I'm going to put a little dot of glue right in the middle, as close as possible to the middle of that fold right there. Okay, and then I'm going to rest this one as close as possible, kind of making sure, checking, are they the same? And they're kind of the same on all 4 sides. Okay, I'm going to lift that up. I'm going to make a second plus sign with my other 2 strips. Put a dot right on the fold as close to the middle as possible. My other one, the fold is going to be up and down, and I'm going to check to make sure that all 4 sides are kind of equal. Good. They look like they're equal. Then I'm going to move my first plus sign like this. Okay, and this one, the second one, we're going to make like an X or a multiplication sign. We're going to kind of look and make sure that all of those are just about the same. So we're going to put a little dot of glue in the middle of the plus sign like that we've already glued together. And I'm going to put my X or my multiplication sign right in the center, but before I push it down into the glue, I am going to just double check a little bit to make sure that these are all kind of the same. Okay, doesn't matter where you start, but you're going to be putting your glue on the outside, okay, tabs like this. Okay, so I'm going to lift this one and I'm going to put my glue right here on the outside like this, just a little dot. And I'm going to bring the other side on top of it like that and give a little press. I'm using tacky glue so it glues really fast. Whatever glue you use, you do want to kind of give a squeeze so it starts to stick. Then on top of where I just glued, I'm going to put another dot of glue and bring another one up into it. And you're going to want to check as you're going along, are they kind of bowing out and starting to look like a circle or a sphere. Okay, then on the top of that one I just glued in another little dot of glue. Okay, you want to do this carefully because you don't want to smush it flat. Then I'm going to put the next one in right on top, kind of make sure, is it rounded? And it is, it's nice. Then I'm right on top of all of those, I'm going to turn it a little bit, put a dot of glue as close to the middle as possible. And I'm going to sit that next one right in there. Okay, and it is really starting to look like a sphere. I'm going to put another little dot of glue as close to the middle as possible, like that. And if one falls out like mine just did, just put it back in, give a little squeeze, move on to your next one, put it up in, give a little squeeze. And you're going to do this over and over until all 8 of those spokes sticking out or strips sticking out are in like this. And here's my last one. One last little dot of glue right in the middle. And we have it. our sphere is done. And again, just like with the other forms, you might want to let it dry a little, okay? So whether you're making the sphere or the cylinder or the triangular prism or a cube, be creative and have fun. Bye.